chat that you forgot
Oh,
yesterday?
hey guys, we're live on the Ramsey Paul show. And Sacha was just reminding me that I missed one from Kerry Cox. I did. What do you believe is the futures for the British Isles? I guess tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, isn't it, Sacha?
It is.
Okay. And so the future, sorry, I missed this with, I don't know why I missed it, but thank you, Carrie. That was from another day. I'm hopeful our people will realize. You see, in Ireland, they're trying to flood it with Africans and Muslims, and there's no reason they should do that.
Yeah, I heard
It was,
something about it.
yeah, it was never a colonial power or anything, because that used to be the things. Oh, well, you colonize us, so as punishment, you have to get all the us, And Ireland never did that. So
Right.
it's just clearly they want to eliminate white homelands. Because of the
Mhm.
Holocaust. They want to make sure there's never a white homeland again. And I think it's pretty sad. I'm hoping that people will be inspired by J.D. Vance and Trump. And because did you hear J.D. Vance was saying that Europe is on a suicidal path with all their immigration? They're trying to replace other people. And if you replace Europeans with Africans, guess what? Europe will look like Africa because it's the people
Yeah.
that make the difference, not the dirt. That's where we get the term magic dirt. Some people don't understand the meaning of the term. It's kind of ironic. It's like liberals believe if you just happen to step on our dirt, magically it's going to turn you into a white American and you're going to have our values. And it doesn't work that way. It's ridiculous. But these
No,
people
it
have been
doesn't.
so brainwashed and so beat up. It's really sad. So
It is sad.
yeah, that really was. Hey, guys, thank you. Welcome to Night Owls. This is a show we do whenever. We kind of got into it. We start to do it now Sunday nights. Last week we were busy, weren't able to do it. So it's kind of our unofficial show. We really don't do much prep at all for it. So we count on you guys to help interact with us. And we really appreciate super chats on YouTube or on Rumble. They have a rant and Power Chat. I have the link here. You can ask a question or a comment. Stream elements. I look at it this way, Sacha, if you like it, be like you're at a cyber cafe, throw in $5 for your cup of Starbucks coffee. That
Yeah.
really helps. We appreciate that. And I see a cat.
Yeah.
How are the kitties doing?
Annoying.
Yeah.
Like I went on this massive long walk and I came back and I just wanted to sit down after I drank about a gallon of water because I was so thirsty. And
Yeah.
then they just meow, meow every 2 seconds. It's like, leave me alone. So I gave him a little food even though it was early. Now he wants more food.
Crazy. And yeah, I thought you saw that Milo lost his cat. That was really sad. I hope he
It
finds
is
the
sad.
cat.
I wonder what happened. I wonder if his cat ran out on accident or I had that happen years ago. I had this cat named Sunny
Mm-hmm.
and he ran away. And they're sneaky too, because Cher ran away too when she was young. Like I had opened the door, I didn't even see her get out. You know what I mean? They're sneaky. Didn't even notice. And thankfully, somebody found her at my complex at the bottom. They had like a basement-y kind of part of the complex where you could do laundry.
Right.
And somebody, because I was going to put signs out and everything. She wasn't gone, but like a couple, long enough to get pregnant because I hadn't had her fixed yet. And somebody said they saw this cat getting banged in the basement by this black cat. And so
Oh
she was down
no.
there and she got impregnated. And I got her back and she had one kitten and I ended up keeping him. He was a sweet cat. But then my cat, Sonny, ran away. And he was older too. He was probably like 12 when he ran away. And I'm not even sure why, but I was so worried about him. And he was gone 2 weeks and he came back. And
So
it
you
was another situation where he just like snuck out, and I don't know how the hell he got out without us noticing. But one of my neighbors was like, "We saw a cat over by the sewer grate, but he'd lost like a bunch of weight when he came back because he's such a like an indoor pussy cat. He couldn't figure out how to kill his food, I
yeah.
guess."
So your cat was like a e-thought, like all the e-thoughts around Elon Musk got banged up and
Yeah,
like who's that lady that got banged up? I mean, he's impregnated many, but Ashley St. Clair or
it's
whatever.
gross.
That
It's just a joke.
E-trad thought getting banged
Just
up. Yeah.
just to do that, like because I guess he thinks that the population is bad, so we need more people. But it's like
But
maybe
she
that's not the way to do it, just to spread your seed all over the country
But she
and
had
not
to
take
agree.
care of.
But she had to agree with it. I mean, she's not stupid. She knows how
She
not to
did.
get pregnant.
They're both stupid. Well, I mean, she just wants his money. I
Right.
just feel sorry for the kid because it's just like, from what I've heard, it sounds like he doesn't spend a lot of time with his kids. He's got 14 kids now by all these different women. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm old fashioned when it comes to that. I think you should be married and like be together and not like, oh, I'm just going to impregnate you. And then that bitch was just a whore that wanted money.
Yeah.
Sounds like she had
Basically.
it pre-planned.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah, in
it's just
advance.
bizarre.
Well, now doesn't she get like 40,000 a month in child support? She lives in a penthouse apartment or something like that.
Well, I heard her rent was like 40,000 a
Oh,
month or
maybe that's it.
something.
So she makes more than that then. And she's got, you said, her own cook and driver.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was funny. Laura Loomer and had some woman on her show, and all they did was talk shit. And I was like, okay, I agree with you guys, but it's like you're kind of coming off almost like catty bitches yourself at some point, like they're jealous. It's like, yeah, because nobody wants to impregnate Laura Loomer.
Oh
Like
no,
she's like
poor
really
Laura.
sad. Like she should stop getting plastic surgery, and that would probably help.
You remember that rumor that Bill Maher, was it Bill Maher? She was threatening to sue them because they
Hmm.
said that she had oral sex with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And
And Milo says that like the family told him to get her away from them and all this stuff, like the Trump family, and he had to make some phone calls, and she got ousted. I don't know if that's true, but I wonder sometimes because he does have connections.
he
It
does.
seems like
I never
like it's
understand that
weird.
guy. He's kind of a gadfly. He pretends he's like bankrupt half the time, but then he's always seems real wealthy. And
Well, he
I
was
don't know.
offering 10 grand for his cat. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, if I was really wealthy and somebody took one of my cats, of course, you'd offer a big reward. But we got to wonder, where the hell does he get his money? Maybe he invested it or something. I don't know. Maybe he
I
bought
don't know.
Bitcoin when it was cheap.
Well, but you remember after his divorce from the black guy, he did the
Yeah.
sob story. He was like, I'm just totally bankrupt. And he threw his wedding ring or whatever gross
In
that
the
is into the
lake.
ocean. And some people
Yeah.
said that was fake, that he didn't really throw it. It was like a different ring or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a drama queen, so who the hell knows?
Yeah, I never recognized that as a real thing anyway. Gay marriage, to me, that just seems pretty bizarre. So, yeah.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
Yeah, well, guys, thank you for being here. And again, we'll just go through some stuff what was on the list. Hey, I wanted to go over a few things though. We got Sacha, well, you saw this, but this was a postcard that we got from Michael D. He's our friend in the Netherlands, right? Or Belgium. I forget, always get
Yeah,
those mixed up. So, uh,
Belgium.
yeah, he's a great guy. So thank you,
He
Michael
is.
D.
Oh
And
yeah, and if you guys want to write to us, it's PO Box 8093, Fayetteville, Arkansas 72703, and we like getting letters, and
yeah, in fact,
I correspond with some of the people that have written.
you do. She's pen pals because Sacha was a pen pal before we even got into this. And
I've been a pen pal for like 30 plus years. My first pen pal was a guy in the Desert Storm. Like that's how long I've been pen paling. But sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
no, I just wanted to thank because at our PO box, I'll just call him Tom. I won't give his name, but he donated via the PO box a very generous donation. So thank you, Tom, on that. I
Yes,
think you
thank
know who you
you.
are. And then also, I got some people, they send me their books and stuff, or they write manuscripts. And this was from Ryan, and he wrote a book called The 10 Mile Road. I won't show his last name, but it's kind of he sent me that. So thank you. I haven't read it yet, Ryan, but I do appreciate that. So it's always kind of fun. It's like Christmas. You would go there and we get some mail and people write in. It's pretty cool. I enjoy that.
Well, last year when we got married, we got so much at the wedding registry. It was like Christmas, better than Christmas. We got more when we got married than I've gotten presents as an adult in my life.
Yeah. Speaking of which, guys, our wedding anniversary is in what, 4 days?
Yeah.
That's it's incredible. I've been married a year almost. So we
Sweet
did better
journey.
than the Golden Bachelor, made it all. Yeah, people said it wouldn't last, but it lasted a year so far. So that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I also want to announce I don't think I'm going to give too much detail, Sacha, for a variety of reasons, but not this week, but the week after, Sacha and I are going to be taking off. So we will not be, and I'll announce this on the Ramsey Paul show. So that'd be the week of March, the last week of March, right? We're going to be out.
We'll be gone from the 24th to the
that whole week.
28th.
Yeah. That whole week. Maybe we'll, do Night Owls on the 30th of March.
We'll see, because I'll be moving in, I'll be moved in. And so
part of the issue is Sacha's moving in. This is her last week at her apartment in Fayetteville. And so if you like the paneling,
say goodbye to it.
Say goodbye, send a super chat. We already got a power chat by Louis Barrow. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
What if you were offered $10,000 to let a 25-year-old Haitian man live with you and Sacha for 6 months? Do you accept?
Wait, how much?
$10,000 for 6 months. They have to live here.
No, that's not hardly anything.
No, I want
$10,000. I could spend that. You could easily spend $10,000.
And then everything would be stolen. So we'd
lose. Or
stuff.
We could be abused or raped or.
Well, and then Button would be for dinner. Your cats would be eaten. So no, I don't want that. They're eating the cats and dogs.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, so no, I wouldn't. It'd have to be a lot more than that. So
maybe if it was a child, like a little kid or something.
Yeah, if we could, or a baby. If we could put it in a cage or something. And then you got to be careful because they may bite, but you just give it some food and water, just slide it under.
The cage, like a wild animal.
Yeah, exactly. I would do that. So can we keep them in a cage? Maybe if we had it in a cage, I would do that. But otherwise, no. It'd have to be more money than that because we'd lose more. Everything would be stolen, so we just lose more on that. So yeah, right, no, I wouldn't do that. So and they don't belong here in the country either. So that is the thing. So yeah, that was a thank you for that. And for Wednesday night, I'm doing my show again with Z-Man. I'm excited. We haven't, Sacha, I haven't come up with a topic, but someone beforehand, they gave a super chat and they suggested the space race and the whole space thing. And the more I thought about it, that's kind of interesting. Just talk about the decline of NASA. And then there's the goofs that think we didn't go to the moon or the earth is flat or, all that type of stuff. And Elon Musk wanted to go to Mars. So I'm not for sure. I would like to do it. I got to get Z-Man's okay. I just wrote him tonight, so I haven't heard yet, but I hope he comes back and says, good to go.
I bet he will, because unless he has a different idea.
He hasn't suggested anything yet, so I'm assuming he probably will, but you never know.
You guys could keep talking about presidents, I guess. You just go.
Yeah, well, someone brought it. I think it was Ryan or someone that donates here. They suggested that JFK, because JFK started the space race in the 60s as kind of a competition with Russia to get the man on the moon before the end of the decade, which is it was an amazing thing if you think about that, Sacha. I grew up in that era. I was a little child, but I can remember the moon landing, and most of it was boring. And there was this great thing I would like to talk about with Z-Man, and there's this video from a filmmaker, and these people are saying, oh, we didn't go to the moon, it was just in the theater, Stanley Kubrick did it. And this filmmaker, because he was kind of alive back then, said, actually we didn't have the technology to fake it back then with the film. The space development was actually further ahead than the film industry. He went through the technical reasons, all the stuff, and a lot of the stuff people are just ignorant on, like, oh, why don't you see stars on the moon? Well, it's because of the camera's exposure and all that. So he really broke it down pretty good, and I think that's sort of interesting. I always thought that trying to get away from the conspiracy about not going to the moon was a little bit, I think, trying to discredit people that had questions about a certain event in the World War II, and it was a way to make them look kooky. And I think that kind of drove it a lot. And then it went into that whole flat earth thing. It just really went, and that was started just like tongue in cheek, but now it's a real thing. Doesn't like Fox Day or who is that bear guy? Owen Benjamin thought the Earth was flat or something bizarre. You there, Sasha?
Yeah.
I asked you a question.
Oh, you got some super chats, Paul. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm here.
did Owen Benjamin say the Earth was flat? I asked you that question. You didn't hear it?
Yes, and I said yes.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Something
Yes, I
else.
think so.
Okay. All right. Let's
Yeah,
see
my
here.
internet's just shitty. Sorry. I need a new modem and I'm moving out, so I'm not going to buy another one. I think that's probably the problem.
Yeah, so
Why the connection kind of sucks.
this will probably be your last streaming from the apartment, right? Probably.
Right, unless I stream by myself, which I usually don't.
Yeah.
So,
Would you
so
accept
yeah,
50,000?
probably.
Here it is. 009. Would you accept 50,000 in federal grant money to house a white South African refugee family for 6 months? Yeah, I would.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
I don't know where
because,
we'd put them. They could live in my shed,
yeah,
I guess.
I guess so. We could do that, but no, I would do that. I wouldn't
Yeah, me
hesitate.
too.
Ryan, heck yeah, let's do it. I was partly inspired by that suggestion because my grandfather worked on the Apollo projects, specifically 11 and onwards. Yeah, Ryan, thank you. It was Ryan that did that, so I like that idea. And I had one of my best friends, Alan Dickinson. He works for Martin Marietta, and his dad worked on he was a mathematician on the Apollo project for Martin. And I think a lot of it is sort of like an anti-white male thing because it's really white men that got us there. And in fact, the German von Braun was the ex-Nazi scientist. So I think because of political considerations, that's another reason they try to, downplay that. So I think that's
Right.
and but there's other aspects to talk about the space race too, like going to Mars. What's the purpose of it? That was always a big argument though in the late 60s and early 70s when we were going to the moon. These poor blacks like, oh, how can you go to the moon when there's these poor blacks in the ghetto? I don't give a shit about that. I want us to strive to do great things. I don't want to always be pulled down to the lowest common denominator. I don't want to be pulled down to that level. I want to aspire to greatness. And is there a practical reason to go to Mars? Well, probably not. But it's inspirational for the country. I'd rather do that than spend it on bombing Houthis or whatever. And it's a lot of times with the moon race, the space race, we developed a lot of technology came out of that initiative, like the semiconductor and all sorts of things. Tang, the drink of the astronauts. Do you remember Tang as a kid?
Yes.
I used to drink that.
Remember Al Bundy always drank Tang.
Yeah,
they those Tang sandwiches, like where you put like the powder in between two pieces of bread.
Do they even
remember that?
Yeah, do they even have Tang anymore or no?
I think they do.
Do they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you want, buddy? You're such a pest. Yeah, I don't really want my tax money going to go to Mars. If like Elon Musk wants to pay for it out of his own pocket, because I do feel like we have problems here at home, and I don't want to bomb people either, but I feel like our infrastructure could probably use some work, or maybe we should rebuild North Carolina, California, all the places that got hit by disasters. Maybe we should do all that stuff first.
I agree, and I think this could be a sex difference. I think a lot of times men look more inspirational versus nuts and bolts type of things. And I think that inspirational stuff has a psychic or psychological importance to young boys. A lot of our generation wanted to be astronauts and stuff. And the explorers during the European times, I think there's a reason to do that. I really do. So
I would rather they make a train like Japan has those awesome trains. I would love to be able to have like a high-speed train to go from like here to Tulsa in like 30 minutes, or
that'd be
from
cool,
your house. I would love to see a train be able to go in kind of rural area, or not rural, but close enough where you could go if you needed transportation somewhere where you're not stuck. I think that would be nice. If we're going to have to spend money on something, I'd rather do that than like one or two people go to Mars and we all get to pay for it.
Yeah. Again, I still like the feel for it. So I know, but that was a big
You're like
issue.
a space nerd, though.
I am. I think a lot of guys are. I think it's
they are.
it's kind of in our DNA, the Faustian spirit, as Richard Spencer would say, used to say, to explore. I do think there's some value in that. I really do. So, but now I don't know if we do it. If it was the government, I don't think NASA could do it because NASA, they'd have to have like a transgender black female that would crash the spaceship. So I
Elon
don't
Musk
think it
could
would.
probably do it.
Yeah, Elon Musk is planning to go. He said in a couple of years, which I'm doubtful, but it's not going to be
To
paid by the
Mars.
government. Yes, he keeps saying by 2028 we should have a man on Mars. I'm like, get out of here. That's just no way.
Isn't Mars like really hot?
Cold.
Isn't that?
No,
Oh, it's cold.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. It's a very cold planet.
Okay, where was it they went on Total Recall where he had that dream? And
I
he
think that was
went.
on Mars.
Oh, okay. I was thinking for some reason Mars was hot. I don't know why.
No,
But yeah,
your blood would boil if you got out of the spacesuit because of the air pressure so low, but that's a physics thing. But yeah, it's a very cold planet, and it's.
I mean, that's cool. If Elon Musk wants to do that, he can.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. He has these ideas of terraforming it, so I don't know if that'd be possible, but it's good to think about.
Yeah, I don't want to live up there. I'm fine to just live on Earth. Like, I don't even like getting on an airplane.
I'm like we're kind of like those memes. Like if I'm at night and I'm not sleeping, my eyes are open. And you remember that meme? Like, oh, I bet he's thinking about another girl.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually thinking about Mars. You remember that's kind of
yeah.
guy? They did that with the Roman Empire. So, yeah.
You are like that. Or
I do.
Politics, you can't go like 30 minutes without bringing up Trump or something political. Like we could be on a beach having a great time and all of a sudden like, oh my God, did you see what happened?
Mm-hmm. Well, see, this is why it's easy for me to do what I do every day, or Monday through Friday. It's not something it's not hard for me to do. It's something I love doing. I love talking about culture and events and politics and just everything like that. So, and I have my whole life. So it's not like I have to, oh God, I have to do this. That's why when I give advice to people that want to do videos or stream, I always say, you got to do something that you're really passionate about or like. Excuse me, burping. Because if you do it,
I just burped too.
I know I need a mic here, but I mean a mute. I didn't get it in time. But if you don't really give a shit about the topic and you're just doing it trying to get money or fame, I don't think it's going to work that well. Unless maybe you're a girl and you can show your tits. But other than that, it's not the case.
Well, that happens a lot. These women come out of nowhere and they say the same things, like that new girl. I mean, I'm glad she said what she did and she seems all right. But I'm thinking Jared Taylor's been saying this shit for years. You've been saying this for years. Like, all you guys have been saying, older men have been saying this for years. And then a pretty girl comes out and says it and everybody pays attention. And it's like, guys, I've been telling you guys this for a long time.
Well, and I think I was talking to you. I don't know if I said that. Sometimes I get confused what I say on camera versus what I say to you.
Yeah.
It's a very similar. It's not like I'm different off camera. But you remember we were talking about how things that I was like on the real edge and people like me have now become like mainstream and people are just talking about.
Like Tucker Carlson talking about Europeans. And of course, they won't ever come out and say the R word, race. They'll say other things, but it's like, come on, people need to get over that.
Well, I think we're getting closer. Even J.D. Vance talking about what's the problem in Europe with immigration, and even that girl's Sarah, what was her name?
Stock? Is that it?
Something like that. Again, she wouldn't have felt comfortable talking like that beforehand. So.
Well, and all the stuff about the transgender using the restrooms and girls' sports and all that. That was kind of a fringe thing a while ago, too, where only certain people would talk about it. And now everybody's talking about it, it seems like.
Right. And even in Congress, they introduced that Tim guy that pretends he dresses like a woman now. They call him sir.
I saw that. Well, that Nancy Mace, like she's another one that's just an attention whore. Mm-hmm. And I kind of liked her at first, but then I found out more about her and I was like, she's another one though that, there won't men in our spaces and all this shit. And she was for all that stuff like 5 minutes ago. But now, like you said, because of other people paved the way, like she can say those things. A lot of these people can, but they wouldn't say it 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, no kidding. We got a power chat. Aha, this is funny. Angela Baker, $3. Is Uranus cold or hot? Or as it used to be pronounced, Uranus. and that's like a joke from junior high. Everyone would giggle about.
It is.
But I think they changed the name, how they pronounce it to Uranus because of little kids giggling in
The
class.
jokes.
I think remember I talked to our astrophysicist about that. He said it could be right. How he doesn't really study the planets; he does more of the galaxies. But yeah, that could be the case. But just if I'm going to answer this seriously, Uranus is Neptune, Pluto. It's way out there, so it's very cold. So
Oh, it's funny because I've been watching Pee Wee's Playhouse on streaming because it's on streaming on Shout TV, and I'll put it on. They even made a Uranus joke. There was one where he went in the magic screen and he was like on a spaceship, and he's like, I hope we're not going to Uranus. And I was like, that's funny because that's like a kid's show and it has all this adult humor in it.
To clarify, I think it has a thick atmosphere, so it could be the deeper you go in, it could get warm and very hot. Because PV equals nRT, right? In chemistry, the more pressure you put on.
I didn't take chemistry.
The more pressure you put on, the hotter it gets. Like in the center of the Earth, it's really hot because there's a lot of pressure. So let's say Jupiter's way out there. It's mostly gas, but I bet inside it is probably extremely hot. So that's just a little physics there. Little physics. So it depends where on the planet, probably. But as you're thinking on Uranus is a gas planet, though. It probably has the core, but most of it's gas. So it's kind of hard to. If you're talking about the surface, it's probably hot. Louis Barrow, never know. The space program of Liberia might put a man on Mars by 2028 and terraform it by 2038. Huh. New Liberia shall be established on Mars. Yeah, I don't. Did you see that? I have this prep, but NASA was saying, well, if you look at space, it's mostly black, and that's why it's good for black scientists. Did you see that? And they actually made that. It wasn't a parody.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
So because
it was cringe.
But I mean, they just patronize those people so much. It's just crazy.
They do.
Yeah, that was just nuts about that. Let's see here. What else did I want to? We talked a little. Oh, we saw a movie. I want to talk about that because Night Outs, we talk about movie culture stuff. Sacha and I, was it last? I'm getting my days mixed up. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? Last night, right? The Black Bag.
It was yesterday because I had to work Friday night. It was Saturday night.
Yeah, we saw Black Bag. It was a good movie. It was a we're lagging, so we're talking over each other. It had a vibe of an Agatha Christie movie almost. What were your thoughts? I'll let you go first on that.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was stylish, and it was kind of a whodunit movie with a little bit of a surprise. Like they lead you to think like one thing's going to happen, and then something else does. I thought it was well acted, and it was entertaining. It wasn't a long movie or anything. It was like an hour and a half, but it was one of the better movies I've seen so far this year. Like that and The Monkey are probably my 2 favorite movies I've seen this year.
I was pleasantly surprised because they had a couple of black characters because of diversity. But to be fair, it wasn't about their blackness or anything like that. And I don't think there's any homosexuals or transgenders at all in it. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I don't even remember many. Well, I guess because it's a husband and wife, we could say this, they're both spies for the British spy, is it SIS or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
And so they think there's a mole in the organization and they're trying to track it down, and everyone's suspicious of everyone else. And so it has the Agatha Christie vibe of like, ooh, who did it? One of us is the bad guy. And I won't spoil who did it, but it was interesting. I give that. The acting was good. And it was one of those rare movies. There's actually a plot now. And I like movies with a plot where things happen instead of all these the comic book movies that are out now. So it's a good adult movie. I don't know if you really need to go to the theater to see it, but if you can see it in streaming, it's worth a view. I think, an entertaining movie. And there was really no politics in it to speak of that I could think that was really
Mm-mm.
offensive or anti-white stuff or anything like that. So
No, well, the two main characters were white and they were both smart and
yeah,
attractive.
really
So,
one of the main characters, he was a white man, and he was married to this white woman. That's unusual. And they didn't portray him as a typical married white guy, stupid doofus that the wife has to help.
right.
And
He was pretty smart.
the wife was smart too, but it wasn't. I didn't get the girl boss vibe at all.
It reminded me of their relationship, reminded me of kind of like the Thin Man, how it was like a man and a woman that were married. And except in the Thin Man, they solve crimes. But I guess they kind of did in this too, that we didn't see it. But they worked for like what you said, the English FBI or
Yeah, they're
CIA.
equivalent to the CIA. Yeah,
Yeah, but it was entertaining.
yeah,
It was good because it's been kind of like slow for movies. Even Phantom events haven't had hardly anything. The next thing they're adding is I'd like to go see Rad because I've never seen it, but it's during a work night. And then the other movie they're going to show is Monty Python, which I never cared for those, but Paul and Brandon both got excited about Monty Python, and I told them, I said, I'll go. Maybe I'll like it. But I remember seeing it in high school and thinking it was dumb, but I
well,
don't know. If I get a buzz on, maybe I'll enjoy it.
as I told Sasha, humor is a very individual thing, and I like British humor, and some people don't like it. I always like Monty Python, but some people don't. So I
I
get it.
like some British humor. I mean, when I went to Amsterdam, they showed a lot of British humor on TV there. It's stuff I didn't know, and I did catch myself laughing a couple times watching it. So I don't know. I remember thinking but I was in high school when I saw, and I think it was Holy Grail because that's the one that's going to be playing. And at the time I didn't really care for it, but I like some of those kind of silly movies. Like I like Airplane.
I think all the nerds love Monty Python. It was a
I
big
think so
nerd.
because Brandon liked it. The minute I said Monty Python, he's like, oh, and he perked up, and he's a nerd too, and he liked Monty Python. And you,
Yeah, in the 1990s, I attended a C++ conference in Boston, and C++ is a programming language, and the audience is a big audience, but the demographics are what you would expect, put it that way.
yeah.
And we all got to vote on what movie to watch in the theater, and that was the one that was chosen. So
So what were the options? You probably don't remember, do you?
I don't
The
remember. I
options.
just remember Monty Python, the Holy Grail one, and it was a bunch of geeks. There was a few women there, but they even look kind of like, you can have nerdy women, but
You
there were a
can.
few nerdy women. But it was a fun conference, but it was just a lot of geeks. That's the first time I was to Boston, and I really love Boston. I had a great time there.
I
It's
would like to go.
downtown.
I've never been to Boston.
Hmm. Let's see here. I think we got another super chat here. Thank you on this. It's a yeah. Well, and St. Patrick's Day, that'd be a good thing. Any good movies you're all looking forward to this year? Seems like the cinema movie theaters are getting popular again. Well, I'll answer first. Sasha's kind of
Oh,
got me more into the movies. Sasha's a big movie buff, and we get going. I mean, if there's a good movie out or somewhat interesting, we usually go. She's a AMC Rewards member, whatever they call it, and
Stubbs, remember? Yeah.
yeah, Stubbs. We go like about once a week if there's a movie.
But lately we haven't. We haven't
No,
gone. There
lately
hasn't
we
been anything
haven't. Yeah,
playing really.
I mean, there's some things I won't see if it's like I'm not going to watch some black show or some show that's like that Brutalist. That was was that excuse me, a
Yeah,
Holocaust movie or something?
it was.
I'm tired of Holocaust movies and or any movie that's like, oh, the poor immigrants. Yeah, fuck that. Or if it's
Yeah.
anything that's all about homosexuals doing their thing, I don't want to see that. I see that all the time on the ads. I'm tired
Well, you
of
just
that.
deleted like 80% of the movies
I
out there,
know, I
Paul.
know. That's the problem. That's why I did like the black bag, even though there's black characters. That they weren't the main ones. The main ones were white, and the whites weren't doofy, and there was no racial stuff about it. And actually, the boys, I mean, the men and women, they were, I think, all straight. Now I think about it,
They
right? If you
were.
think, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's none of that transgender queer theory or anything like that. That was refreshing. So I did like that. And they even had at first the two black characters that had a black guy and a black woman, and they were together as a couple. Remember that?
Yeah, which is
And
unusual.
that's unusual. They always pair up the black guy with a blonde woman, but that
They
time
do.
they had a black with a black. I'm like, wow, that's unusual. So that was it was a good movie. So I will see movies, but I won't see movies that I just find that I think I'm like, oh God, this is gonna, I don't want to see another damn
Like the
Holocaust movie.
Society of Magical Negroes or whatever.
Mhm.
Remember that came out? Was it last
That was
year?
a real movie. We're not
And I
trolling.
was
That was
with
a real
you in
movie.
Moscow and we went to see something. It was that Talking Heads movie, I think.
That was a
We
good
went
movie,
to
by the way.
see, and
Stop Making
then
Sense. That was a great
yeah,
classic
that was
film.
out again last year and we missed
Yeah.
it. I don't know if it came here again, but it was really
It's
good.
just that's one
But
of
they
my
showed
favorite
the
concert movies. Yeah.
yeah, they showed the trailer for the Magical Negro Society before that, and the look on Mosca's face. I had to look over because I knew, and it was just so funny. And you both, I was like, yeah, I had never seen that trailer, but the minute I go with you two, they show that, and it was just kind of funny. So, what movies are you looking forward to? I think that's what he asked.
Oh, there's one about a
Is
gay
there anything this
bodybuilder.
year?
No, remember that black
Oh, there
bodybuilder
was.
thing? No, I'm not gonna watch
Yeah.
that.
At first, I thought it was like going to be a Mike Tyson movie, and I was like, oh, that could be cool because the guy
Mm.
kind of looked like Mike Tyson. It was like, no, it's about bodybuilding. Never mind. Uh,
Bodybuilding always seems somewhat gay to me. Honestly, it does. But
Brandon's dad was a bodybuilder.
the ones that not the weightlifters
He's
for
not
strength,
gay.
but the ones that oil up and pose. They always,
Yeah, he oiled up and posed.
yeah, that always seemed gay to me. But
So, are there any movies you're looking forward to seeing this year for
there was
real?
that one. What was the name of that movie? We saw the previews where the guy's kind of nerdy. He's like in the CIA, and someone kills
Uh,
his wife, and then he has to go. That black guy
he
that used to
decides he
be in.
wants to go after him.
Yeah, that looked kind of good. It was that black guy is in it. That was part of the Pee Wee's Playhouse. What was
Oh,
his?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, well, he's put on
Yeah, I
weight
like
since
Lawrence.
Pee Wee. Yeah,
Yes, he's all puffy now. The
he's
only
pretty
part of
fat.
that I thought looked good was the part where the guy's swimming on that thing and the guy shoots
Yeah.
it down. That looked kind of cool because that would be scary if the pool you were in like just gets shredded and you're in it.
Well,
But
the idea
yeah,
though,
I
yeah,
like
is
the
like
movie really.
he's just a nerdy guy, but he's trying to kill people. So that's kind of it's kind of fun, right? So
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe because I'm female, I don't really like those Mission Impossible type movies.
mhm.
Like,
What
because that
other
was.
what other previews did we see? I forget. I sometimes note them so we can talk about them, but I didn't even.
Megan 2. I apologize
Yeah,
for that, but I hope they don't mess it up because I really like the first Megan. So I don't know how
sequels
they're going to
sometimes
do
get
this.
little. Yeah.
But sometimes sequels can be good too. Like I really like Back to the Future too.
Oh, they had
And
that
Empire
movie.
Strikes Back was
Yeah, they
good.
had the movie preview. That lady. The whole gist of the movie is she's on a date, and then she
Oh,
gets a
I want to
text.
see that.
Her text. She has her kids at home, and she gets a text message that she needs to kill her date, otherwise they'll kill her kids or something like that. That's the whole
Yeah,
setup.
I
I don't
forgot
know
what
that
that's
kind of.
called though. That might
Yeah,
be good.
yeah.
I
I
don't
didn't
really
know.
know like um Wicked too, but that doesn't come out till November, I think, or that's way at the end of the year.
One movie that was supposed to be good that totally bombed in America was about a singer that was a monkey. He was like a man monkey. He was a British singer. What was the name of that movie?
What was that called? We kept seeing the preview for it. Somebody told me it was, or I saw some video and they said it was actually pretty good.
I
Better Man.
know.
It was
What
called
is
Better Man.
Better Man? And it
Yeah,
looks so dumb because when they showed the previews, like the whole audience just groaned, like this looks stupid.
they did. But I heard somebody said it was actually good. I guess the guy thought of himself as a monkey, and that's
I
why they did
I
it like that. It maybe would have done better if they just made him a person and made it like a rock movie or pop, whatever, like a music biography thing instead of having a monkey in it. Made it kind of confusing.
Did he really think he was a monkey or like I think I'm a monkey? Because I always tell Sasha I'm a monkey because she has a shed and there's a loft up above. You have to get on a ladder, get up there and kind of jump up there. And I always go up there and I'm like the monkey because it's kind of high. But did he really think he was a monkey, the real guy?
Well, no, I think it was like one of those things like he just kind of saw himself as a monkey or something. I don't know.
That's weird. It wasn't like one of these trans people that think they're a cat. I saw that on X. You saw
No.
that too. This guy wearing a dress and has cat ears on, and we're
Yeah,
supposed
you
to.
showed it to If
I'm
it wasn't
actually
for you and Moscow, I probably wouldn't see half of this cool.
I don't mostly
Like,
retweet that stuff anymore because I think a lot of these people just want attention, and
they do.
so they just try to get wilder and wilder with their stupidity. Like I consider myself a cat or something. Like, yeah, fuck off. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Damien, did you guys see the trailer for the summer camp slasher? I think we have. Do you remember that, Sasha?
No.
Not last night, but we have seen it.
Was it kind of a comedy though?
Yeah,
It
I think
looked
it's
almost
almost
like it
like
was funny.
yeah, I
Yeah, I
think it's
might
almost like
like that looks like
oh
something
wait,
I might like.
is that like Scream Part 20 or something or
No, I think there's a movie and it's kind of maybe making fun of those movies, but it's a summer camp because Scream never took place at summer camp. Friday
that
the 13th was summer camp.
as I told Sasha, that's the problem. Most horror movies now are parodies and humor comedies. It's rare to get a horror movie that's just a serious horror movie. Now, that what was that slasher movie, Terrifier?
Fire.
That was just gory. That was almost too much for me. That wasn't a comedy, but most other movies turn out to be like comedies, really.
I had mixed feelings about Terrifier. It's almost like I enjoyed it when we were watching it, but then I felt guilty about enjoying it when it was over. I mean, like I said, some of it I couldn't watch. It was just too gross.
It's
But then,
almost
but then it's like I kind of like that there were different things in it though, like the part at the mall. I was like, they're not going to go there, and they went there, and I was like, whoa, they went there. And I thought it was filmed well. I like the cinematography. I do think they did a good job with the way it almost looked like it could have been made in the 80s.
yeah.
So I
It
like
was.
that about it.
I had a feeling is it almost came across, and don't get me wrong, it's not pornographic, but it almost has a feel of like a really gross X-rated movie, but without the sex, but just replace with the sex with the violence. It was so gratuitous. It was like, let's just make this as shocking and as horrific as imaginable. And that is Terrifier.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of like watching a dirty movie, and then you enjoy it when you watch it, but then you feel bad about watching it later or
yeah.
something. Like that's, I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty gross. I know why Brandon didn't like it, or I have a theory why he hated it so much because he really didn't like it. Is because they killed Santa Claus. Spoiler if you didn't see it, pretty much everyone in that movie dies. So, because I think that was a bridge too far for some people.
All right. Drift speed. You said the longer we go without the happening, the more people we can get on the lifeboats. But now that they have drones and stuff, if they decide we'd probably be screwed, your thoughts on it now? Uh, you know, I always think you got to do the right thing and do right and risk the consequences. And I'm old enough to remember, because I'm an old guy now, that the same thing was said in the early 80s about, I mean, there's a lot of people. I remember, Sasha, I don't know if I told you this, but a lot of people, I remember there's an article, it's like in Time magazine or something like 1980 saying, we're coming up to a really grim decade. It's going to be really bad. Everything looks like, with the nuclear war and Reagan, and it's just going to be a horrible time. Turned out the 80s was like a golden age, but at 1980, everyone was like pessimistic and,
Mhm.
or a lot of people. So I, you just don't know. And I hear what you're saying, but, this is the old debate, Sasha, of is it worse is better? So we should try to things fall apart. So then somehow there's a revolution, we come on top. Or should we try to work within the system like voting for Trump? There's some people, I think Fuentes was in this camp or whatever. I don't know. He's all over the map. But we got to let's vote for Kamala. Then the whole system will come tumbling down and I'll be the new Führer or something, And then there's the other. I see. I don't think that strategy is really realistic. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think that's bad. Worse is worse. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be good if everyone's starving to death. And I don't know. I mean, Trump's only been in what, like, how long has he been in there? 2 months?
Isn't that
I mean,
crazy?
and it sounds
It's
like,
almost 3, but it's been like 3 years, it seems. He's done so much.
but it's like they're trying to block him on stuff too. I saw like he had something that he was trying to do. I think it was the deportation of some of these criminals and
Oh,
something trying
yeah,
to block him. And
that judge said he can't deport some federal judge in DC can't
yeah,
deport
so he
them.
has all this shit that he has to,
Did
and
you
I do
see that
know.
though? You see what he did though? He deported them anyway.
Oh, good.
I know.
They
So
should deport the judge, maybe.
they too. That's a piece of
Like,
shit judge. Yeah.
but you got to think he has all this stuff. What worries me more is what the hell's going on in like Israel and Ukraine and all that. And I just don't want. We shouldn't have to deal with that stuff.
Well,
And
he's trying to wrap up Israel. I mean Ukraine, and I hope he does. But then he's getting this hard on about Iran, not because Iran is a threat to the United States. And Yemen, we're bombing Yemen because they're kind of an ally of Iran. But Yemen doesn't really care about America, but they care about Israel because what happened when Israel decided to go on their ethnic cleansing or genocide in Gaza, the Yemen's people, they protested and they started to attack ships that went through the strait there near Iran, the shipping with drones. And we don't really know how to deal with it. I mean, we could shoot down a drone, with, but they're like a $20,000 drone. We shoot a missile costs $2 million. It's not a good trade off. And
well, I
then
don't.
how we bomb over there, but the trouble with bombing guerrillas is they don't all just stay in a nice guerrilla camp where you can bomb
Kill
them.
them all, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they live in homes with kids and everything else, so it's a tough thing to do.
It is. And I don't understand why we're wasting money on this stuff too. Like they reinstated the funding to Ukraine. Well, if we're laying off all these people, and I know a lot of government workers are lazy and they don't do much, but there are some that do. Like they laid off, I think, 3,000 park rangers. I'd rather give the park rangers that money than have it go kill people, or or get us involved in World War
Oh, well,
III. I'm
I
not
agree.
interested.
I think
You
I believe that Trump should have just dropped, and I hope he gets us out of Ukraine. Still, I go back and forth on that. They're still negotiating, but Trump should have just said, "This isn't my war. I'm getting the hell out of it." I wrote how he could be in danger of doing what LBJ did, because when Kennedy was assassinated, we had some Green Berets in Vietnam, and LBJ should have just got us out right away. But we kind of got stuck in there, and it was never planned to end up that way. But it just, just escalated in the war quickly, and then we're there years later. The same thing could happen in Ukraine. That's Britain's goal, and that's Macron's goal in France, is to sucker us into the war. I hope Trump can resist that. But I would have just said, no, this isn't our war. We're cutting all funds. We're getting out of this. We'll be friends with Russia. We have no problem with them. And we should do the same with Iran. We can't, though, because the Israeli lobby owns so many of our politicians, like our senator here, Cotton. So that sucks.
He should be primaried. I'm sick of these people. And then Thomas Massey's like the only one, and then Trump goes after him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like because he was against all this stuff. And I don't know. I don't think Trump should do that either.
Yeah.
Maybe don't go after the politician that's not bought by Israel, since they all have their handlers, and he's the only one that doesn't.
Ryan said, wasn't LBJ a horrible president? This is a disclaimer. I was alive during LBJ, but I was just by the time I got into kindergarten, Nixon was president. So I was like 2, 3 years old when LBJ was president. I didn't follow him at the time, but yeah, he was a bad president. He was never meant to be president. And Kennedy didn't even like him, but that was sometimes you pick a vice president, even if you don't like the guy, because it helps
like
you.
Kamala and Biden.
Yeah, exactly, because it can help you because Biden wanted the DEI pick, and a lot of times you pick someone. Kennedy picked LBJ because Kennedy was from the Northeast, Boston, Massachusetts area. Then you had Johnson from Texas, and it was done for that reason.
Right, get the Southern vote.
Yeah, they didn't really like each other. LBJ, though, wouldn't have won by himself anyway. I don't think he was a very good president. He started the Great Society, a lot of the big welfare state we had. He was horrible president.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was one of my worst. There's been a lot of bad ones. He was a bad one, that's for sure.
Anytime you get down about Trump, though, I always remember who his alternative was. And I
Yeah.
think it would have been a lot worse to have that woman in charge, like a lot worse.
Did you see they just came out and this is what's so weird. I guess it's weird, but I saw multiple reports, not just from one. It wasn't just from the right wing, but they did polling data, and
Mhm.
Trump is more popular than ever. In fact, his poll numbers keep going up after
I
all this
wonder if it's just
controversy.
I wonder if it's just the loudest voices that always bitch, because I see a lot of hate for Trump online. But a lot of these people are just brainwashed tools anyway.
Yeah.
At least people on the right, at least like people like us. Now there are Trump sycophants that anything he does is great, but um, these people on the left, no matter what he does, they hate him and they're just like super brainwashed. Like I had a friend that was like that. I guess we're not friends anymore. But those people are absolutely insane. Those anti-Trump people, a lot of
Yeah.
them.
Well, TDS is a real thing, the Trump
It is.
derangement syndrome. And I really hate, I know a lot of people have problems with Elon Musk, but this whole idea he's a Nazi, and they do this, or lying, because he was at a rally and he said to the audience, my heart, and he touched his heart goes out to you like this. And
Yeah.
then they
Now they're going to
freeze.
screenshot that, Paul.
Yeah, they're going to freeze. I know. That's what happened to him. And they
Yeah.
said he was doing a Nazi salute. He wasn't doing a Nazi salute. So ridiculous. I mean, but this is how they're liars. And we know some people, though, that are dumb that will really believe he did a Nazi salute and supports Hitler.
I think they want to believe it, though. I think some of these people are so fucked up that they just want to believe the worst no matter what, even if it's harmful to the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then these people get mad because you don't vote the way they want. And it's like, well, run a decent candidate then. That's just like, I'm not a Republican, but I'm sure as hell not going to vote for like Kamala Harris. And I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton or Biden. I mean, these people openly say horrible things about men and white people. That's what's funny. Like my ex-friend that wrote me that nasty letter about, oh, Trump is so mean. And it's like, you voted for a guy that insulted white people nonstop. And oh, isn't it great they're being replaced and all this stuff, and insulted people and threatened people with their jobs if they didn't want to take a shot and everything else. It's like, who the hell are you to talk about bully? You guys run nothing but bullies. And oh, it's great. White people are going to be a minority in the country they built.
Yeah,
and all this stuff. How is that not hateful? Or just insult?
Okay.
They just insult people all the time. They hate Christians.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if anybody, oh, you can believe however you want. Oh, but if you believe different than us, we don't really like you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sick of these people.
All right. I had a couple other things I wanted to get your opinion on. This is coming up. Do you think this is going to bomb? This is a new Snow White.
Well, I don't know. You want to think it would bomb, but then a lot of times Disney will put stinkers out and they'll still make money. They'll probably lose money, but I bet somebody will go see it.
She's so obnoxious.
She is. I don't even think she's pretty. I don't know. She has that mosquito, that bug face.
Yeah.
And she's so annoying. And she kind of almost ruined the last Hunger Games movie, too, because I didn't know she was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to see it with Brandon, and it was just like, why does this bitch have to be in everything now? But I don't know. This might tank her career, too, because she keeps running her mouth. So I think other studios might not put her in the movies.
Right.
Kind of like Snape now from Harry Potter's Black. I saw so many people pissed about that, and I'm not going to watch it now. And I was even kind of looking forward to it, like, oh, maybe they can cover some stuff in Harry Potter that they didn't get to do that were in the books, but not the movies, because they'll have more time to do it because it's going to be a TV show. And then I saw that, and I'm like, no way. And they even describe his description in the books that he's white and fair and or whatever. He's supposed to be pale. He looks like what's his face? He looks like the guy that played him. Why can I not remember his name now? I like him too. Help me out here, Paul. Alan Rickman. He looks like Alan Rickman. And J.K. Rowling said that that's who she had in mind to play Snape. And instead of just there's another guy named Adam Driver that looks kind of like him. And people were saying, why didn't you just get that guy? And it's like, why didn't they just get that guy? They had to get a black guy. It's like, did you guys not get the memo that this woke shit's supposed to be over? You know?
Yeah.
England, it takes place in England. England is majority white.
They're trying to change that, though. They're trying to change that.
Well, all these people are going to get a dose of this when it comes to a neighborhood near you. Because a lot of these people haven't been exposed to it and they don't understand I'm sure even some of these people advocating for this crap, that the minute that they see how bad it is, they'll wish that
Yeah.
they hadn't of, oh, everybody's the same. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The more you live near diversity, the more you realize it's not like it's shown on Netflix.
No, it's not.
And I think that's the key thing.
With one or two people, it can be all right, but when you start having hordes of these people, it's not good.
No. And
'Cause
they
I
have
don't
their
know,
own homelands.
I always hear them complaining about Indian people on Keno Casino because they were talking about the tariffs and they had some bank come out, some guy that's head of like Bank of Canada, and he said if they did these tariffs, like the ones Trump was talking about, the 50%, that it would basically bankrupt Canada, that they couldn't deal with it. And he went over it and they played the clip and they were talking about that. And they said, well, if anything good comes out of this, maybe it'll be that these Indians will self-deport.
I think that'd be a good idea. Yeah. You see that the app that Biden had to help illegals get in the country, they repurposed it now to help you to if you want to self-deport. I thought that was excellent.
Oh, that's good. How does it
Yeah.
help you self-deport
It gives you
exactly?
instructions how to get your ass out of this country. So
Well, I
I
mean,
think that's great.
it's funny they need directions. They knew how to get in here.
Yeah, well, they had like Soros and everyone helping them in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I have another thing I was going to show you too. I don't even think I haven't even seen this video. We'll watch it together, okay?
All right.
I give you your comments on this. It has to do with Arkansas, by the way. Here we go.
Couldn't believe it. Going through Arkansas, I thought it was a joke.
This is Arkansas.
Got stopped at the way station in Arkansas and was handed a piece of paper. And it says, "Can you read and write English?" I said, "Yes, sir, I sure can." He goes, "Can you read this?" So I read it to myself and I was like, okay, I started handing it back. He goes, no, read it out loud for me. So I read it out loud for him and, it's short and sweet, no problem. He goes, "Now, can you write this for me on this paper?" And I did. And there was a whole bunch of people that have already written on it. And I was actually witnessing people in handcuffs that had been pulled in. And I was like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Oh, we've come across now that if you cannot read or write in English, that it's a $5,000 fine. And if you have a company in Arkansas that employs people that can't read or write in English, it's a $10,000 fine paid on the spot. If you cannot pay it, you're automatically arrested and lose your license." What a shocker.
That is great. And let me just show you this, get more of the details. I'll share more about this for you guys. So I'm like, yay, it's not all businesses, this is for truck drivers. Let me just share this. In Arkansas now, they stop all trucks. Everyone's handed a piece of paper and you must show that you can read English. And if you don't, you're arrested and you lose your license. So excellent on that for Arkansas doing that.
Good for that. Is that Sarah Huckabee did that?
I think so, yeah.
She's actually doing some good stuff.
Yeah, she's pretty good. So it's good to be proud to be from Arkansas with that. And let's talk about this a little bit. We don't have to go into this in depth. And I briefly showed to Sacha this, not the whole thing. I'm going to play it all, then I'll have you comment on it. There's a lot of ways we can comment on this, but let me just show you, okay?
Okay.
So a Democrat from Boston had made a video about me, saying that I confirmed his belief that Southern people are less educated. Well, sir, that depends on what you're referring to. Are you talking about a college education? Because I got one of those. But no, what you're probably talking about is politics and stocks, which case you'd probably be correct. Because I don't spend a whole lot of time retaining knowledge and things that'll have the value of a goose egg when this world goes to hell in a handbasket. But if the markets crash and you're forced to survive on little to nothing, live off the lands and protect and fend for your own, I think you'll come to find that us Southern folks are a lot more educated than you think, and you'll probably want to learn a thing or two from us.
So what do you think of that? She had a thing that said MAGA hillbilly.
I don't know. The accent seems almost overdone to me. Like it seems fake. Why would you wear something that says hillbilly? I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I don't trust half the people online. So especially these girls, half the time it comes out that they're not what they say they are. Maybe she is. Maybe I'm just like skeptical about it.
I was talking with Sacha about that. You got these new trad women that like to pose, or let's say down south here in Arkansas or wherever, and they're in the fields and they're barefoot. And I live out here. When I work in the lawn, I can't even wear my tennis shoes. Otherwise, my feet are covered with chiggers and ticks, and I got to wear boots. So this idea, it's almost they have this LARPy version of rural living that has become, it used to be real negative, it was like Deliverance, and it really wasn't like Deliverance. But now there's this other side that they try to romanticize it into something it's really not. And I don't know. It's almost like I was joking cultural appropriation where there's people that like to play the role, but and I do that myself too, a little bit tongue in cheek, but these people seriously try to do this. Most people aren't going to wear a hat that says hillbilly on it or something like that, or I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed fake to me, but maybe not.
But it is still good to do that. What you working on? I see you're working on something.
Oh, I'm just pulling stuff out of this box because I'm putting it in another box.
Cool.
Sorry, it's hard for me to sit still.
No, I don't mind. I just I thought you were doing like a cross stitch or something.
No, I have jewelry and I have to clean it. It's from my dad's house. I'm going to clean it and sell it or keep it or whatever. And I just want to put it in a smaller box. And I found this, and we could put the remote controls for the TV in it, but I got to clean it. like that's what it's for. It looks like Button.
Yeah.
I just have to. I want to give him a new bow tie too because his bow tie's faded. So it's part of my never-ending cleaning and refurbishing everything. Like, wow, this is so old. This is a thing for Pez. Order some Pez because I used to collect Pez.
I never got into Pez, but.
Well, I don't like the candy, but I like the dispensers. I used to have this massive collection. I finally had to sell it because it just got to be too much. It was funny because I've been watching Pee-wee's Playhouse on YouTube, and then I was looking at Paul Rubens, and I guess he collected toys too, and I was really excited to see that. And they said he had 7 storage buildings full of junk, and he would buy 5 of each thing. He would go around. It reminded me of me. Like he traveled and was looking for all this, and his friend said that he was trying to kind of preserve Americana. And I thought that's kind of me, but it's more like preserving the 1980s.
Yeah.
With all my stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of neat. Brandon said a lot more people, he thinks where he works, he sees a lot more toys on desks and stuff, and he thinks a lot more people collect toys. Because I was listening to this guy that collects toys, and he said kids aren't that interested in toys anymore. He said there's more adult collectors than kids.
Well, they probably play electronics. The kids play electronics.
They do. I had a friend a few years ago. I met her at Gen Con, and she had a niece. At the time, her niece was 7, and she said her niece was more interested in staring at screens than she was at having dolls and stuff, because she would buy her dolls, and she didn't really care about them. And I thought that's sad. And well, my cousin's son, I bought him a He-Man when they had the He-Man, the retro ones at Walmart, and I bought him one, and I thought, oh, he would like that, because I think he was like 6, because I loved He-Man and She-Ra and all that when I was his age, and he just didn't even seem interested. He just wanted to look at a screen. So I don't know. I think it's kind of sad. I would take screens away from kids. I don't think that they need to have screens all the time.
I agree.
Use their imaginations like we did. You're going to make them even more. Like a lot of the Zoomers, they can't even function without being on their phone. Because I work with some, and then when I first start working, you'd have to sit down. There might be food for us, and they wouldn't even talk to you. They're like looking at their phone the whole time, and it's like we're creating a whole generation of people that can't socialize, and they just want to look at their phones all the time. And
That
It's
is
kind of
one thing
sad.
I agree with Vivek on. He wants to ban the use of cell phones in schools, which I
Most
thought
schools,
most.
I think it is, though.
Yeah, I don't think they should have them anyway, though. But so
No, I don't either, because they're having problems. And then I talked to this one lady, and she's a teacher, and she said that a lot of the problems they're having with kids now too is they seek their like validation from social media,
yeah,
like getting likes and clicks. Little kids, and it's
yeah,
like, I don't know, it's sad. It
it is
shouldn't
sad.
be like that because we didn't have social media. It was bad enough having to go to school. I couldn't wait to be out of school and go home and
Hmm.
do my own thing. But I can't even imagine like now it follows you everywhere you go. Like, oh, now I have to have a Facebook page or whatever. I'm not sure what kids have. Maybe it's Instagram because I guess Facebook's more for like boomers, Gen X, um, and older people seem to like X too. I'm kind of tired of all of it, to be honest. I've thought every day I think about deleting my Twitter. It's like I should just delete it. And the only reason I really keep it up is because some people contact me through there. At the same time, I feel like it's a waste of time. I mean, it's different if you make money on there. I don't blame you if you're getting paid, but I don't get paid and I get like almost no engagement. So it's like, why even waste my time?
I want to finish up with this. This was pretty amazing. I don't think I showed you this, but this is at a hospital, at this healthcare place. When you have your baby, they, as a mother, they ask you what was your baby assigned at birth, female, male, or prefer not to answer. Then they ask, what do you identify your baby as? Female, may, transgender male, gender queer, additional category. And then they ask you, which of the following best describes your baby? Lesbian and gay,
What?
yeah, straight or homosexual, bisexual, or questioning. So you have a newborn baby, and you're told, is it transgender, or is it a homosexual too? So you're supposed to have this
Oh,
question.
come on.
Yeah,
Baby's not, that's so stupid.
this is
They're
a
really
health.
like,
Aspira Healthcare in New Jersey. This is so, these people should be arrested.
they
A little
should.
baby, you're talking about sodomizing. Your kid like to sodomize each other? It's just like disgusting.
It is
These
disgusting.
people are evil.
They are.
You never think this is part of the reason the Democrats are so unpopular now, because they support bullshit like this. This is crazy.
It is, and it's like you're considered the one that's not normal if you don't support this. Well, I found out my ex friend, she apparently supports all this shit,
Yeah, I
and
know.
it's just like I didn't know that. And it's like maybe I don't want to be your friend if you're that like screwed up in the head. I mean, that's screwed up. Like that goes
Yeah,
beyond, to think, oh, transgender kids, that's not a thing. You made that shit up.
yeah. And then to
So
ask if your newborn is a homosexual, what a,
it's disgusting.
I know.
It's a sick.
These,
We live in a sick time, really. with a
yeah,
lot of
we
sick
really do.
people.
But that was out there, and that was it. Hey, we got Rojas. Hey, Rojas, how you doing? It's good to see you, Rojas. Let's see. Rojas is a real life friend of mine. It's great to see you, Rojas.
Did he call or something?
No, he's right here. He has a rant for us, is what he has.
Okay. I didn't know if you opened the phone lines or.
At least there's this Rams and Sacha. No, he said a rant here. Let me just show it to you, everyone here. Bless you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Head of Trump's anti-Semitism task force says one on anti-white bias may be next.
Well, that should be the first.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
If they've been bullying white people for how long and blaming us for all the ills of the world.
And now, and then Rojas sent one about Tucker. So let's get your response about Tucker here. I love Tucker. We saw Tucker in person. Remember that?
We did with Dan Bongino, who's now going to be in Trump's cabinet.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to be dark. I know this is going to be clipped, but like at this point, Europe is so, and I love Europe and I'm there constantly and my family there. I mean, I really love Europe truly as an American. Yeah. But like, it's so degraded, you know, I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say would it actually be worse or not. But it's pretty bad right now.
Yeah, it's kind of sad with Europe, and Tucker knows, the anti-white stuff. They're trying to replace the people, and the people seem demoralized. Like I said, they have no vision. Like that, I kind of brought up, going to Mars or something. They're just into their sick sexual perversions, is all they identify as now. It's just really sad what's happened to the people.
Well, that's
there.
America too, though. But I've heard America's
Yep.
demographics are worse.
We are,
I've
but
heard
they're
people
trying to
say
catch
that.
up. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and Europe's smaller though, so at least here you can kind of go escape it to some degree. Like
yeah,
it's small and you're kind of crammed together, so it's
yeah,
sad, really.
yeah. It
I
is.
hope they get their shit together. It'd be nice if people woke up, but my God, there's just so many people still asleep at the wheel.
It is.
And I don't know how you wake these people up at this point. I sometimes don't think that there is a way to wake them up.
Maybe not. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to we'll just end this now because I got to do some prep for tomorrow. But we wanted to do one of these shows, and I do appreciate it. I think we'll probably do one next. Are we going to do one next Sunday? No, we won't.
I don't know.
No,
We have a lot
no.
to do. No, we probably won't.
Yeah, we won't. So, we'll be out that 1 week. So, I'll announce more on that, but we'll be back. So it's just we're kind of doing stuff some on that week. We'll keep it kind of vague just for reasons, but nothing bad. But So, Sacha, it's been a fun show.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And
So
we
will see you tomorrow. I
later.
guess.
You'll see me tomorrow. Yeah, and you guys will see me tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yeah.